Hello, I'm Min, and today I'll be going over resilience in children with autism. Many children go through many traumatic experiences, especially during times of war. This leads them to create resilient factors within themselves to help them resist the impact that these experiences can cause upon the child. However, before we address this issue, we have to first define resilience. According to Young Wing, a psychologist and sociologist, resilience is defined as the dynamic capacity that enables an individual to successfully adapt to disruptive situations that may threaten an individual's existence, function, or development. This specific ability to adapt to these problems is what the children need to keep moving forward within their life. The central issue at hand is that even though these children build resilience to these effects, some children are still unable to overcome these traumas that they experience and are unable to fit back into society. This causes them to not recover despite their resilience, which can lead to extensive PTSD, depression, and sometimes even suicide. Many of these traumas have occurred to these children, especially during the Vietnam War. When the Vietnam War ended, there was a time of reformation known as IWA, where Vietnam saw rapid urbanization and industrialization. Many children who had to survive through the war built a sense of resiliency. However, their full ability to recover couldn't perform effectively, as many parents left in search of work, leaving the children alone. This caused the living conditions and environment that the children were set in caused them to not be able to recover effectively, and they were living alone, which didn't let them have a sense of security around them at times. Similarly, in China, the same situation that occurred within the younger generation of Vietnam happened again. The children that had their parents affected by the increased urbanization and industrialization were caused left behind children, also known as LBCs. A community-based cross-sectional study of 2,898 LBC children of Yunnan province showed that LBC children compared to non-LBC children were 30.3% less likely to participate in self-harm and 3.373% less likely to commit suicide. These children had a significant increase in their resilience compared to children whose parents were there for them. The LBCs had signs of psychological resilience and emotional regulation, as with their continued research, the signs of depression were less drastic within the LBC children. According to Erin Gabriel, an associate professor at the mental health department of Zagazig University, and Ali Shoaib, a mental psychologist at Menifee University, emotional regulation, ER, is defined as the extrinsic and intrinsic processes responsible for monitoring, evaluating, and modifying emotional reactions, especially their intensive and temporal features to accomplish one's goal. It is a strategy that a person employs to modify the expression of emotional experiences. Emotional regulation was a very common trait that could be found through many of these LBC children. According to this chart, most parents, specifically the father, left in search of work, leaving the majority of the children in the hands of their mothers or their grandparents. This also showed how often the parents would even visit the child. The lack of supportive presence promotes resilience, but also depressive symptoms of the child, as they are generally alone and in lack of support. This emotional regulation from the LBC children tie in the responses of stimulus G, because the scheme states that when in pain, convince that the pain is not there and everything will be okay. This regulation can be similarly compared to adaptation within the mind. The Haitian people's responses to the earthquake showed a sign of adaptation with their trauma, as they're able to move on and continue to work even after the earthquake. The amount of resilience and emotional regulation that the children show represents the ability to overcome their trauma that comes at them. So how can we assist these children and help them overcome their trauma through resilience? This leads me to two solutions. The first one will be an education system. There can be ways where the teacher are able to assist the students through their traumas. Many children value education very heavily in Asia and spend most of their childhood within schools. If the teachers are able to relate to trauma as individuals and manage to create this program, it will allow the child to develop better coping skills and psychological support to overcome their traumas. The second way would be through relationships. Another way is through a safe household and family that the child can rely on. Many studies have been done, and parents provide a sense of security for the child, which will allow the young minds of the child to recover from what has been witnessed or occurred within their life. Security and a beneficial environment is required for recovery, so the solution is very possible if the situation is set right. This leads me to my combined solution. This will involve the teachers and the family that will still be around the child to interact and communicate with the teachers to maximize the efficiency of healing and assisting the child's mental health. The implication of this solution will require a program that's promoted within the schools and good contacts with the parents. It will also require some promotion by the government for recognition of this program. However, there is a certain limitation to this solution. Many children in Asia are taught to keep their depressive and their feelings to themselves, as feelings of weakness are shamed upon and looked down in families. A few of the pros to the solution is that the solution is not very costly. It doesn't rely on materialistic means such as money. The solution also has many programs that have been done in similar fashion, so there are many people to reach out to for assistance and experience. This also will lead to a helpful community that can be built upon these connections, which will allow the children to fit back into the society where they belong. However, there are a few cons to the solution provided. The solution is very situational, as some children will not have any family to help them or assist them through their hardships. There also needs to be cooperation between the parents and the teachers to inform and promote this program. Most parents are out working, so whichever guardian that comes up next should be the one to take responsibility for the child. This requires good communication and connection with the adults and the teachers, so if trust isn't established correctly, then this solution will work ineffectively. The issue of mental health for children in Asia has been occurring due to many cases of urbanization and industrialization, which severely affected the child, as many of them were in aftermath of war. This resilience that the children show needs to continue to build up with support, which will allow them to recover and lead to a life of security and peace. Here are my sources.